Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Holmes. Welcome back to another online edition of Art Class. Today we're going to talk about 2-point perspective. A few weeks ago we talked about 1-point perspective, where we used a vanishing point and a horizon line in order to make a realistic street scene. Today we're going to use 2 points in order to make a Rubik's Cube or a game cube. So 2-point, meaning we're using 2 points instead of 1 this time, and perspective, meaning the way we look at things. So let's get started. With a ruler and pencil, I've got a marker because I just want you to see what I'm doing. Pencil doesn't always show up, but I do actually need to do a little bit with pencil because I don't want my guidelines to stay there. There will be erasing involved. So make sure that you get yourself an eraser. Not the best eraser, but it's going to work. And here we go. Starting off with your ruler, I'm going to make one line in the middle of the page. And this line can be light. I'm making mine dark so you can see it. It doesn't have to go all the way from the top to the bottom. This is going to be our center of our cube. Our cube, we're not looking at it directly on, we're making it look three-dimensional. So we've got that for our center. I'm making a point over here and a point over here. These are going to be my points where the lines will vanish. My cube will recede off into space and it will vanish in this area. So we need to find out how big our cube is going to be. So I think my top will be right about here. The bottom will be right about here. Taking my ruler, I will line up this point to my vanishing point. I have another one here I'm going to erase so it's not confusing. Holding my ruler firmly down, I'm going to press, spreading my fingers out. Sometimes people hold it just here, and then when they draw with it, it moves. You won't get a straight line that way. So in order to ensure that you get a straight line, push down, spread out your fingers, give yourself a line. And we're going to go all the way to that point. Same thing over here at the bottom of the cube. Line up your ruler, line it up to the point. So point A to point B is always going to be a straight line. Now we've got this triangle or cone shape. We'll do the same thing on this side. Lining it up again with the top part of our cube to the vanishing point, bottom part of our cube to the vanishing point. Now we've got 2 cones. I'm going to go over this a little bit in marker so you can see it a bit better. I need to find an end to my cube. So right now this is my center of my cube. I probably will end it right about here. So I'll make a line here. And on this side, I'll make a line right about here. So my cube is going to be at an angle. I do need this line, which I will keep. So this is a line that is outlining the top of my cube on the left and the right. And I need this line at the bottom that outlines my cube on the left and the right down here. I no longer need these cone lines, so I'll erase them. I still need the vanishing point though. I'm going to leave that. I need the vanishing point because that's going to help me with the shapes inside my cube. There will be 3 rows of squares. 3 rows of squares. So I need a row here, here, and here, 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 and here. So in between this little section, already it looks like it's something that's sort of coming out at us. Maybe think of it as a 3D cube. Making a line parallel to this center line. Holding my ruler down and making a nice parallel line. I'll bring it over here, make another parallel line. And that's going to be the left side of our cube, almost. The next step is we just need to find out equal spaces from here. So I'm going to put, maybe my cubes will go something like this. So I'll make a little line here and here so I can make lines to my vanishing point to make the game cube pieces. So using my ruler, I will line it up to the vanishing point. I don't have to go any further though, because I know my cube ends here. Sometimes people keep on drawing, and that's fine. You can do that. You'll just have a little bit more erasing later. But I know my cube ends here, so I'm going to stop drawing right there. Same thing here. I'll line up my ruler to the vanishing point to this point here and make a line. Can you see it starting to emerge a little bit? We'll do the same thing on this side. Lining up this point to my vanishing point with my ruler, holding it nice and steady. I'll stop right there because I know my cube ends there. And same thing here. Same thing on the other side. We've got our lines going one way. Now we need to make some good vertical lines. So for our game pieces, we'll make one right about here and one right about here. Can you see it? Let's have it sitting on a tabletop. We'll put a little line as if it is sitting on a table. This might help make it look a little bit more like it has a surface that it's sitting on. And now we can just color it in. I've got some rainbow colors here using Crayola markers. I love these because they have the conical tip. If you look at this, it's got a nice fine point to it. You can use a small skinny line with the tip, or if you hold it on its side, which I'm going to do, you can get a really good thick line. And it takes a lot less time to color with these. So let me show you what I mean. If I hold it to the side, I can really quickly lay in some color. Whenever I color things in, I always outline it first and then color it in so I don't get a weird zigzaggy edge. Just one trick to be nice and neat. Also, good trick, especially when using water-based markers, I should have made my lighter colors first. I always do the light colors and then the dark colors, because if you're using a water-based marker and you accidentally touch another color, it's going to bring that color and bleed. So if my yellow touches the blue, it's going to, see what I did there? It's going to bleed into it just a little bit. So in order to make your artwork look nice and neat, use your light colors first. If you want to have colors that touch, you can. You can have one color all on the same side as if you have mastered the cube. Or if you want to be like me, who has only gotten one side of a Rubik's Cube in my whole entire life, I don't know how people do it. You have to have a very mathematical mind in order to solve the puzzle. If you're like me, you can just put random colored squares. I think it looks better like that too. You have your random colored squares. So just using the edge, I'm quickly filling in with color. Helps to have a nice juicy marker that works too. These Crayolas are great because if they ever end up not working, you can dip them in water for a second and then hold them upright so the water goes down into the barrel and it kind of rejuvenates the juice that's in there, and it can get you a whole other life out of your marker. That's why I don't like it when people throw markers away without letting me test them first, because you can very frequently save your markers. There's white on a Rubik's Cube, so I might leave a couple of these white just for the sake of time. I'm keeping this video short, but you can really have a lot of fun with this. You could make some patterns on your cube if you wanted to, inside each of the squares. It is completely up to you. If you wanted to make this look even more realistic, you could color this bottom that it's sitting on as a tabletop and maybe make a wallpaper pattern, or paint the back here so it looks like there's a wall. But there's a lot of different things that you could do with this to make it look really good. But that's it. That is using 2-point perspective in order to make a game cube. You can get really, really technical with this if you want to. You can make cityscapes using 2-point perspective, and with buildings and a lot of architectural type drawings using this method. But this is a very simple way to go ahead and start getting to know how to use 2-point perspective. Just remember that it uses 2 points instead of one on either side. And all of your lines are parallel to one another, or they line up to that vanishing point. And that's how they're going to look nice and realistic. I think this will be my last piece that I'll color in, and we'll leave it right there. There's my GameCube. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you real soon for a lot more art online with me, Mrs. Holmes. Stay safe. I'll see you soon, and have a great day.